Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to do a project with acrylic paint pens, and we are going to use the Ohuhu acrylic marker set of 30 that comes in a case. And this video is sponsored by Ohuhu, and I'll have links to where you can find these products in the video description. Acrylic markers are very popular right now, and they can be used on a variety of different surfaces. This set includes some spare nibs. It has a bullet and a fine nib on each pen. I'll show you here. I have used these before from a different set, and you can see they come unactivated, so we'll have to activate those before use. And then we've got a nice swatch card. Because they're opaque, you'll want to know how they look on a dark surface as well as a light surface, so I will fill that out in a moment. And you also have a little brochure on how to use your markers, so if you've never used acrylic paint pens before, you will know what to do. So I am going to work on some pottery projects that I made last year. I had them bisque-fired, but I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as decorating them or glazing them. They're just kind of basic cups, and I thought they might be kind of nice for pencil cups or maybe plant pots. So I just had them bisque-fired and I figured I'd decorate them with acrylic paints or whatnot. Now, I'll probably choose the ones that have the smoother sides like this. Ones like this that have fingerprints would really need to be sanded down, and I have plenty to work with before I have to get to those. So I think this is what I'm going to work with today. And I'm going to activate the markers, and then we'll get on with it. There are instructions for activating your markers in the bag, but what you basically want to do is give it a good shake. Then you are going to press the pen down, pump it a few times, and get the ink to flow. And this might take a few times and a little bit of time, so don't worry if it doesn't come flowing right away. You can see it starting to come down the nib. And you can see it start to come out of the pen and flow smoothly. Let's see, this is M102, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on the dark swatch card where it will really show up. M102, which is one of the silver color. It's a metallic silver color. Look at that. It's so beautiful and opaque. And it doesn't have an odor like often the metallic markers will. Look at that. So pretty. And then let's check on the other side. We also need to activate that. So when you pump it, you're basically breaking a seal so the paint can come through. And there we go. And see, that writes just as well. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my swatch chart so I know what I have to work with, and then we'll be back for the ceramics painting. I thought it'd be fun to do a face. I'm not sure if I want the fine tip or the bold tip. The nice thing about having replaceable nibs is that if there is like a rougher surface on any of these, I'll be able to replace a tip. Oh, this is writing really well on the bisque. Okay, I'm going to try to make it even. Oh, these write really well on the bisque. Because I didn't know if I should like, if I should spray it with water or anything first. I think I'll give her a little mole. Oh wow, this is really fun. This is really cute, I think. Very neat. Okay, I'm going to leave the black pen out because I'll probably end up having to re-outline. Do some red lips. Or maybe magenta lips. That might be better because that's really, I don't know, I like red. Let's do red. I really like working on a a non-paper surface, I do find that like anytime I'm using any water-based markers on a papery surface, oh look how fast that dries, it's not even smudging that line. Anytime I work on a papery surface with a water-based marker, whether it's like a Tombow marker or whatever, it tends to pill the paper a little bit, so it's much nicer to work on that. I want to give her some cheeks, but I'm just kind of worried this might be a little too bright. I think that's kind of cute. Do I want to give her any eyeshadow? Yeah, maybe some light blue eyeshadow. We'll go really, oh shoot. The pastel colors are going to be a little bit more opaque and they'll cover up the black, so I will need to touch up the black a little bit, but I think that's pretty cute. I feel like I want to give the lips another coat. Can you imagine that with like aloe growing out of it? How cute would that be? Oh yeah, and the local greenhouse had some really cute little aloe plants. I think that I'm going to want to do that. The red is it still wet or just glossy? Oh, it's still a little bit wet. Yeah, I guess I better let that dry. That's cute. I'm gonna go over. More of like a cat's eye. And maybe some freckles. Oh, that might have been too much. I think that's cute. All right, I do feel like I need to redefine this line because it got covered by the red a little bit. But I think that looks really cute. Maybe I'll do a little, once that's fully dry, I'll do a little highlight on the lips, but I think that'll be such a cute little planter. Well, this one's drying. I am going to work on this plate, and I think it'd be really cute to make a donut and like a glazed donut. So I'm just going to start by drawing the just kind of like a basic donut shape, and I'm using bronze for that because that's kind of the closest I have to like a vanilla donut. And then I think I'll use the candy pink is that candy pink? Yeah, to draw some icing. So I'm just going to have the icing just kind of be like that towards the center, and then have it kind of dripping down over the edges a bit where I left little gaps. All right, maybe I'll fill that one in a little bit more. And then I think I'll just go ahead and color in the pink area. I'm not sure if markers are the best way to do a really large area like this. Now this is going to be a very similar technique if you're painting on rocks, for instance, because rocks are going to have that very similar surface, that kind of rough, slightly rough surface. So again, if you start to notice that your nib is getting worn down and you can't, it's not working very well for you, you can use one of the replacement nibs. But if you've got a really big area, it probably would be a better idea just to take some acrylic paint and a paintbrush and base coat it if you did have one big area you wanted to be a solid color. Of course, the markers are a lot neater, especially if you're working with kids. Alright, I think I'll actually make the donut chocolate now that I think about it. I'm going to use brown. It dries pretty quick on the bisque. Don't worry about it being perfect because things that are handmade, like donuts, are going to have some imperfections. This would be a cute little dish for keeping stuff organized on a nightstand, like your watch or rings, other jewelry, your wallet. This is definitely big enough to keep all those things organized. Okay, I'm going to use the fine tip to outline the icing. Try to give everything a little bit more of a smoother appearance. I think this one is a little bit rougher than my last little jar, so I'm getting more feedback on the nib. But what you can do if your nib is not putting out enough ink is you can just kind of pump it onto some scrap paper. I don't like how that looks. I'm going to try to smooth that out a little bit. There, it's a little bit better. Okay, now I want to put some sprinkles on, and this is where you can really have fun with your colors. I would look for more opaque ones. I really like the spearmint green is a nice opaque green, and pink and green look really nice together. Oh, I think that looks really cute. This is one of the more opaque colors too, so if you've got some areas that aren't, that maybe you see some brown underneath and you don't like that, you can go in and fill in. I'm wondering if I want any yellow. The yellow is cute. I'm not sure if it is opaque enough though. Gold is really opaque. I could do some dots with yellow. I might have just liked it better with just the green. That's kind of cute. And I think I like that. I want to highlight it. And I'm going to use white. Don't know if I want to use the fine. I'm going to start with a fine tip, and then if I decide that I want to have it thicker, I can do it thicker, but you can't really go thinner once you've put it on there. So I'm just going to hit a few spots with the white highlight. Try to give it a little bit of a glossy look. Just try to keep a smooth stroke. So that's another reason sometimes I will pump out the color and dip into it, because I don't want to have to stop and try to, pump it for more to come out if it's not feeding as quickly as I like. I want to keep it really smooth. I don't know if there's enough contrast to really see that white there on the green, but Doesn't hurt anything to have it there. And then sometimes I like to do just some kind of stippling on the chocolate to make it look a little bit shiny. This is something you could easily do on a rock. You could also do this on a ceramic plate from like the dollar store. I'm thinking maybe I want to do a little black outlining too. I think that might make it look a little bit more polished with a fine liner, with the fine line end only. And I'm only going to outline, I'm going to start just by outlining the donut part, the chocolate, and then I'll see if I feel like I want to outline the frosting. And I don't think I will outline the sprinkles. I think that'll be a little too much. Oops, I had a little splash there. See that the nib caught a ridge on my plate. I made these on the pottery wheel, so they're not perfect. And then it flicked some out, so I might even go in there and want to put a background in. I don't know. But I didn't really have a plan for these pottery pieces, so this gives me a fun little project to do with them. You can also do like plaster or resin molded pieces you can get at the craft store. You can even find those at Dollar Tree sometimes. So those are a very affordable option if you want to play with some the pens on something dimensional and you don't want to use rocks. The plaster and resin will also be smoother, so you won't get as much of that feedback. And it won't wear your nibs down. I think I do want to outline the icing as well. I think it would be really handy to have a little turntable. I'm not doing a very good job. You can also buy unpainted ceramics at a ceramic shop and use these markers on them. Or a combination of your acrylic paints and these markers. That's kind of cute. I think I might want some blue though. Maybe I'll do some of that pastel blue because that had really good coverage when I did the eyeshadow on our other little pot. Maybe I'll just do some pastel blue here in the center. I'm trying to go with the ridges so it doesn't spatter and so it doesn't wear down the nib too badly. A nice neat design here. And just try to fill in and neaten things up a little bit. The felt tip, the thicker nib, is less likely to spatter, by the way. These pens can also be used to mark names on a like drinking cups, either glasses or even the plastic disposable ones. Just keep the marks, as always, and anytime you're using art supplies, keep like the writing area below where you would touch it to food or your mouth, just for safety's sake. It's always just a good rule of thumb, no matter what, if they're non-toxic or whatever they say, they're still not meant to have like in your food, so. Well, I think that looks kind of cute. You could go further and do like other color. Maybe I'll do, there's that pretty metallic mint. That color might be pretty on the outside. There's also metallic cyan that's pretty. Oh, I don't know. There's so many pretty colors here. It's like, it's very addicting. Do I like that color? Ooh, I think I might like the metallic cyan better. Let me look at the metallic cyan. Oh yeah, I think I like that color better. I think I probably should have stopped at the blue because this is going to be really hard to keep even. Don't worry about it being absolutely perfect because this is handmade and it should look handmade. There, I think that's kind of cute. That dry bit. All right, there is our plate. Yellow I think would also be really cute. Maybe I'll just do the rim in yellow. I probably need to stop, but it's very, but then I will be bringing the yellow from the dots, so it'll be kind of like tied all together, I think. There, I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I think that's really cute. There, I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I think it's really cute. I mean, I could do a stripe of pink. I think that would also be really cute, but I don't know. I don't know if I can do another even stripe of something. So I think I'll leave it like that because that is cute. Although it would be really cute to have another stripe of pink. What do you think? Can I do it? I'm gonna try it. We'll try it. I'm gonna try it. I may regret it. Actually, it's not too bad so far. That's not too bad. Oh, I like it. I think that's really cute. All right, there we go. We've got the donut plate. That's really sweet. That'll be a great little dish to keep your treasures in on your nightstand. I was thinking about doing another face on the other side here. But this time I was thinking, wouldn't it be cute if I did an open eye? And then a winking eye? Something like that, another little option. Why not? This next idea I have is to try a watercolor technique on the bisque. So I soaked this for a few minutes, and bisque is very porous. It's kind of like plaster. So if you bought a plaster piece or a ceramic piece from a ceramic shop, it's going to work just the same. Or if you have plaster Paris and you want to make a mold of something, you can even find plaster pieces at your dollar stores. I thought this would be fun for kind of a watercolor effect. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to find out together. So what I'm thinking is I would like to have, oh yes, it's going to work great. I want to have some poppies. So I'm going to start by putting in, oh, that's probably a little too damp, honestly. I don't think I want it that wet. I'm going to start in by putting a yellow shape. Then I'm going to grab some red. Red is very, very bold. Let me throw in some orange. I'm going to keep them uncapped as I'm working. I want to give it a little, help it bleed with a little bit of color there. Might be a little too much. I think you're going to really have to kind of season to taste here, figure out exactly what the look you're going for is. But once this dries, it will be permanent, so don't worry about it just kind of like running off your pot after you've painted it. This is kind of the scary part, doing the center here. Maybe even do a little bit of green in there. Should have done the green first. I think I've got too much black. Your colors will appear lighter. Okay, I think I had it too wet for that one now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to try to kind of redefine the petals a bit. I'm going to try one that's kind of sideways. Do a stem. You have a little bit of the black, like that. Ooh, I think I just started off with it way too wet though. Because it is kind of dripping. I'm not sure if I like that. I wonder if I can rinse it off. Or if it's going to stain. Alright, I'm going to go upstairs and rinse it in the sink and see if I can get that off. Alright, I went up and I washed off the paint. It's still stained a little bit, but I think it'll be alright. I'm going to start with like a more abstract design, I think. Maybe I'll start... Oh, see, that's not flowing. I want it to flow. I want it to flow. I guess I want the background to flow a lot, so I'm going to just blue background, and then I'll try putting the poppies in around it. Okay, that's coming out all right. That's doing a little bit more like what I want. Do some green. Oh, this green looks pretty. Cap everything up when I'm done. My hands are wet. Makes this cap slippery. Now, you'll see the tip getting a little bit lighter. You can pump it to get some more color to flow out because it kind of sucks up some of the water when you're doing this. It's kind of watercolor-like. This is going to look very childlike, I think. But actually, this would be really good for a planter because we're not sealing in the surface so much. Water will still be able to pass through because we're thinning down the paint so much. So this might be a good one to throw some herbs in. It's not exactly what I had in mind, but I'm not upset with it. I'm not mad at it. That black. Where'd the black go? I don't think orange poppies have the black center. I'm just going to dab a little bit. I don't want to go too overboard. And this is the green I think I was using for the stems. This metallic green had a better tone. As it dries, you'll get more of a thick application. And if you want, you can put more detail in, which I think I will because it's a little crazy looking. Now, something I'm noticing with metallics, though, is that the color, like the dye color, soaks into the ceramic, and the metallic, like the pearlescent, is staying at the top. So I'm not sure what I think about that right now, but something to note. Anyway, maybe I'll go to the fine tip end of the red and start putting in some details with that. Sometimes you just have to kind of play around with an idea and see what you think. And the other thing is, if this is a total wash, if you don't like it at all, you can always just paint this with a plain color acrylic paint, or go over it when it's completely dry, go over it with the markers again, and your markers will be opaque enough to cover this up. So if you don't like it, don't throw it away. You haven't wasted the piece. You can go over it with a more heavy application because this is so watered down. I think I'll go with a darker orange on that one. I really don't know what I think about this. I think I need a darker green that is a little bit more bold for the buds and stuff. That metallic got really, really light. I think I'll use that Verity's color, this one right here, because we've already used it and it is a more, it's not metallic, so it's not going to have that shimmery issue. And I think we'll be able to get some detail with that. I'm not in love with how much this looks like kids' markers with this watercolor technique, but I was curious about it. When you're curious about something, you should really just give it a try, because, I mean, these have been sitting on my shelf for a year. It looks like floaters in the sky with these weird shapes. Not in love with that, but I don't know. I'm not sure about this one, but time will tell. You know, sometimes you just gotta put stuff away and think about it and see what you think after a little bit of time has passed. Right now, though, I'm not loving this design, but that's okay. Actually, I kind of like the red ones. I could potentially make that one into a red one. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe use a wet paintbrush. Not so sure about that one. I think I'll just let these dry and then see how it looks, and then add some accents to it when that's completely dried and I've had a chance to take a break. Whenever you're stuck, take a break. Just take a break, just walk away and let things dry and then come back. So that's what I did. And looking at this, I don't think it's a lost cause. I think with a little black outlining, we're gonna be in business. So I'm gonna go back to the black pen. I like to give these a shake before I use them. And I'm going to use a fine tip edge, and hopefully I don't get too many spatters. This is pretty smooth. Like I said, I'm not a professional ceramic artist by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fun to do pottery just for fun. So what I'm going to do is just see if I can create a little bit more of a refined sketch, maybe add some little turned petals here and there. I love to draw poppies. I feel pretty comfortable with poppies too. Like, I feel that I can handle a poppy. I can handle drawing a poppy without anything to look at. Well, that was actually the reason I decided to do the watercolor poppy motif here, because I figured it would be an easier one for me to do. I've painted poppies so much, I feel very comfortable with them. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I think that looks better. I think it does. You just add a few little dots. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. Then what I would do is I just try to maybe highlight a few things, maybe just like maybe some of the buds. I don't think I want to go too crazy. I don't want to get all the leaves and the grasses and stuff, because I think that that might be a little too much. I just want to kind of highlight the important parts. I like how he's kind of started to do a turned, curled over petal here. Whoops. If you start to feel like your pen's not feeding the ink right, just kind of give it a little bit of a pump on a scrap paper. I actually just use my swatch card. My swatch cards never look that great, because like I'll just also, if I need to get my pen going again, I'll just do it right over that color on the swatch card. But you know what? It's a tool. Swatch card's a tool. Make it work for you. You know, we don't need to be showing off with our swatch cards. If they work for you, that's the important part. That's the important thing. I like to also add a little bit of a ruffly detail here and there. And then that gives me a place where I can draw some little lines for little folds and stuff, and veins and whatnot. I think that looks all right. Do this little bud here. You can also refine your drawing a little bit if you have some real sloppy. Obviously, you can have a lot of kind of sloppy shapes just because we did this watercolor technique. Oh, that blue in the background was really bothering me, how it was like really, it didn't blend out very well, but I think by putting in some details on here, that'll be fine. And this is one we completely changed our color scheme with. I did use a dryer on this, like just my little heat tool before I came back here. I don't know if I don't think I fully dried it though, because I'm getting a little bit of feathering. I really hope I don't lose power. We're having I don't know if we're gonna get thunder or not, but we're having a little bit of a rain. It's been really hot. We're getting a little rainstorm, so hopefully we don't lose power. I'm just gonna do some little dotting of the little stamens out here. I think that might look nice. Might do some lighter ones in there too. Okay. Oh yeah, let's do these little buds as well. I don't like this. This is probably my least favorite of the ceramics that we've done today. But, you know, I wanted to try that technique, and I actually think it's pretty cute. Maybe I even put like maybe we'll do like a little bumblebee or something. I think that might be also kind of cute. Add a little life to it, because you add a living thing. I'm wondering if the lemon yellow or maybe even gold. I think I'll try the lemon yellow. If that's not bright enough, then I'll use gold, because gold will be very opaque where it's got the metallics. And let's put another one over here, cover up some of that mess. Maybe another one right here, cover up more of the mess. These are going to be very cartoony bumblebees, because although I know what a poppy looks like, it's been a long time since I've seen a bumblebee. Undo some of this metallic. Oh, you know what? Let's go back. Well, yeah, I think I want to go back and do some black. I didn't do black around that, and I like the black. If you like the technique of like little dots of color, I did a whole video on using these markers for pointillism cards. So it's a really fun one if you're looking for something like that. I'm going to use the gold. I don't feel like the yellow is. I feel like it's too lemony. It's lemon yellow, but there's not like a really bright warm yellow. So I think I'll do a little bit of gold in there too. There, so we get the gold and yellow mixed together. I think that'll be a better look, and really cover up that blue that I didn't like. Okay. Alright, we'll let that dry. Oh, you know what would be another good color? Sometimes you see purple. Yeah, that definitely wasn't fully dry, because I'm seeing a little bit of feathering on there, but I don't know what I'm going to think about this, but you know what? I always need another planter. I'll plant something in it. Alright, I'm going to dry this real quick so that I can paint the details on our little birds. Now, when you're using a dryer on the markers, you want to make sure that you don't, you keep it back a little bit. A hair dryer would actually be better than a heat tool. This is a heat tool that I have here, because heat tools can actually blister the paint where a hair dryer won't blister the paint. You just got to make sure you keep that hair dryer moving, or it will, you'll burn it out. Alright, and hopefully that's dry enough. So I can feel this like ceramic still feels cool to the touch, so I know it's a little bit damp. But I soaked it before we started because I really wanted to. I wanted to see what I could I don't know if I don't really know, like, where the stingers are. You know what, I think I'm just gonna do cartoony bumblebees. And then I think I'll use maybe one of the lighter blues or the metallic blue to do the wings. I don't know if the stingers are on the butts or their faces. Oh well. Now, maybe this metallic. Is this metallic blue or light blue? This is metallic cyan. Let's try that. Let's see how that looks. We'll do a little wing. I'm just gonna do like a figure eight kind of for the wings, I think. I know they probably have 4 wings, but I don't want to get too carried away. And maybe I'll do a little bit of that blue in the stamens too, just to carry the color around a little bit more. All right, I'm going to call that one done. I think that's fine. I think it's going to be real cute with some little herbs growing in it or something. But yeah, I think these turned out really well. These markers are very versatile. They'll work on all sorts of surfaces. My favorite surfaces are, I like to use them on non-porous surfaces or just on paper. I like to use them on paper as like final details for things, kind of like if I'm doing a colored pencil or a watercolor painting or gouache painting, just use them for those final details on top. I don't like them directly on paper because they will tend to pill a little bit, but they're great on glass. They're great on, I can even just show you this little yogurt pot here. I can show you how they mark on glass if you want. Let's grab this, this should show up pretty well. Like you could write on it and let it dry. You could actually scrape it off if you wanted to, or if it's before it's dry, you could just clean it off with water. But if you wanted to do this like on a window and do like a seasonal decoration, you could do that and then just use a razor blade to scrape it off later. It's a very versatile product. They're generally designed for non-porous surfaces, but I think rock painting, doing ornaments, Christmas ornaments, or any day ornaments, doing little figurines, plaster figurines, resin figurines, ceramic like we did today. These are a wonderful product for that. And now they come in this really nice little carry case so you can keep them stored nice. And I recommend storing them flat. So once you put them in the carry case, either lay them flat or put them up on their end like this so you know all your markers are laying horizontally so that you'll keep both ends of the markers inked. But if you do put them on the shelf for a while and you don't get a chance to use them, all you got to do, just keep your swatch cards because they're handy to know what colors they are. What I do if I haven't used my pens for a while, I give them a really good shake. Make sure I can hear that ball bouncing around in there. And then I will test it out. And if it doesn't feel like I'm getting the color out that I want, I gotta wipe that off because I put the wrong cap on there. If I don't feel like I'm getting like really opaque color, I'll give it a little pump and then, you know, make sure I'm getting the color. Now that's coming out pretty good, but let's say that you weren't getting an opaque color out of there. It was really watery, or it just didn't seem like the color was nice and opaque. Like maybe you did it on black and you're like, well, that's opaque, but say it wasn't opaque. It was like really watery and you couldn't see it. What you would do is take a paper towel, pull out that nib, then you take one of these nibs here and you put it in, and just make sure that you put the pointy end goes in, okay? And the blunt end is what you write with, is what goes out. So you just replace the nib. Because what can happen sometimes is the acrylic, if you haven't used your pens in a long time, that acrylic paint can dry. And then, see, this is how it goes in the pointy end first. That acrylic paint can dry in the nib, and then you pump it, and you're trying to get that color out, but all that's coming out is kind of the watery colorant and not the pigmented opaque colorant. So that's why you have those extra nibs. If you buy these and you're doing a party with the kids and they're all going to be doing projects and you can use them right up, you won't need those replacement nibs unless they're coloring on something really rough like concrete or maybe rough wood or something like that. These are great on wood too. Then, you know, if you get a nib that frays, you can go ahead and put one of these nibs in. But otherwise, if they just get left around, maybe, or a cap gets left off, and maybe like a cap gets left off and one of your nibs dries out, then, you know, replace the nib and it's going to work just like new. And if you don't end up using them, save them, because you may have another set of markers these fit. Or if you use these all up and there's nothing left and you buy a new set, then you'll want to be able to just save them because you can use them with a future set. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this project. It was a lot of fun, and I've got more ceramic pieces. Once I think about what I want to put on them, I can decorate up. These were so fun. I don't know which one I like the best. I think maybe this little face. I think that the face is really cute. That was a fun one to paint. I can't wait. I want to go buy an aloe plant to put in that because I think it would be so cute. I'm not sure if I'll use that for a pen cup or what, but it's awfully cute. Oh, to finish these, I'm not going to do that before I take photos of these just because it will be harder to take photos if they're shiny, but you can use a clear spray paint such as Krylon Triple Thick Spray. You could use a UV resin. UV resins are kind of handy. This is not for kids to use, but like if you want to brush UV resin on and set them outside to cure, that's a great way to get a really hard finish on there. But it really depends on what you're going to use it. If you're going to use it for plants, you might not want to spray it. You might want to be able to let that moisture go in and out. Like with this, I probably won't spray it, and I'll just put a plant in there, and then I don't have to worry about there getting too much waterlogged in there. I mean, it's up to you. It's just like when you go buy a terracotta pot, and these will work great on terracotta pots as well. Terracotta pots are not glazed generally, and you can paint with these, and they're going to be just fine. So it's totally up to you how you wanna finish it. But if you're going to use it for like a pen cup, and it's going to be sitting in your craft room, and it's going to be getting dusty, I would put a little spray sealer on it just so you can clean it a little bit easier if that happens. But that's all. I definitely would glaze this one just to make it a little bit more durable so I don't have to worry about it getting dirty, dusty, or anything chipping off of it. And this is not food safe. I do want to say that. Even if I glaze this, I wouldn't want to put food on it because I can't do a ceramic glaze and bake it in a kiln because the paint would not hold up to those high temperatures. So this is only on pottery that you are not going to kiln fire. But other than that, I think that I get a pretty good overview of this project and what these markers will do, and I hope you give it a try. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Ohuhu for sponsoring this video. I will have links to everything in the video description so you can find these products for yourself. They're available at ohuhu.com as well as Amazon. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!